Hi guys, welcome to a video, and this video I just wanted to talk about my personal top 10 favourite lesbian films. I know I've made a lot of videos about lesbian film, but I realise it's been literal years since I made a kind of favourites video, and also in these years there's been a lot of new releases, so the list has definitely changed. I'm not going to explain about the films in depth too much because I've done individual reviews of a lot of these films, and probably you would have seen a lot of these films. If you haven't seen some of the films, I recommend you do go and watch them because they're all incredibly high quality and they're my favourites for a reason. And it'll be interesting to see whether you guys sort of agree with me or not. So let's go. Imagine Me and You. I have to put this in the list because it's just the only British lesbian rom-com we have. Imagine Me and You is a British rom-com about a woman who sees another woman at her wedding to a guy and then later leaves this guy for this woman. It's very light and breezy despite the fact that Rachel is having an affair behind her husband's back. But actually it's not really about that. It's about discovery and Luce, who we all have a crush on. Also, an angry mob will come after me if I don't put this in the list. I don't love this film as much as everybody else, but I do appreciate it for what it is. It's Notting Hill for lesbians. Desert Hearts. Desert Hearts is about a professor who is getting a divorce with her husband and falls in love with this younger woman. It's a younger, older romance. This film is based on a book. It's a vintage lesbian film. I really love it. It's very beautiful, very intimate. Kudos to the actresses. It's very tasteful, very well made. The book is also really good. It's very romantic. Heavenly Creatures. So Heavenly Creatures, if you didn't know, is a film based on a true crime story about two teenage girls who murdered one of their mothers back in the 1950s in Christchurch, New Zealand. So it's by no means a lesbian love story. However, it was my first glimpse at female intimacy, and this was possibly the first lesbian themed film I saw ever. The film is one of my favourite films ever in existence, and young Kate Winslet, being John Malkovich. Now, this isn't your typical lesbian film because it's not really about lesbians, and this film goes under the radar a lot because it's really not focused on the lesbian relationship. Being John Malkovich is very hard to explain, but it's about this deadbeat guy who, is just living in this small apartment with his girlfriend. He starts a new job. He finds this door, which is a vessel into John Malkovich's being, and him and this new woman he meets at work exploit this vessel, but actually the new woman he meets, it gets very confusing, but it has a happy lesbian ending, basically. And this is mainly in my list because I am in love with Catherine Keener. If it was between my kidneys or Catherine Keener, I'd choose Catherine Keener. Let's just put it that way. The next one is Bound. Bound is this mafia lesbian romance. I don't know what about it is so appealing to me, but obviously when you mix the mafia and lesbians, I am definitely here for it. The chemistry between Corky and Violet is amazing. Jennifer Tilly and her glorious breasts and face. The Miseducation of Cameron Post, I've spoken about this a lot on my channel. It's about a young girl who goes off to a conversion Christian therapy school camp thing after she's discovered with her girlfriend. I went back to see it about 3 times at the cinema. I just thought it was incredibly well made. It touched me in all the right places. I've heard that before. I just felt like what I was watching was incredibly real, and I think it touched on so many real issues. It was funny, it was touching, it was well made. It just really is one of my favourite films, and Chloe Moretz did a fantastic job. I also think she looks like a handsome prince and want to marry her, but that's just it. Carol, again, Kate Blanchett and Rooney Mara, do I need to say any more? We all know what Carol's about. Please stop making me, because I talk about Carol so much, I feel the need to explain it. It's older women, younger women gloves. I'm not gonna go through it again. But the film is just art. Everything from the actresses to the aesthetic to the mise en scene, everything in this film is art. The soundtrack is it's just a beautiful film. The Handmaiden. So The Handmaiden is a Korean gothic lesbian drama romance thriller, and again, much like Carol, the film is just a complete work of art. Again, I saw this 3 times at the cinema. I absolutely adored it. I'm in love with Kim Min-hee. The acting was stellar, the chemistry was beautiful, and the soundtrack is one of my favourite film soundtracks ever. The only thing which holds this film back for me were the sex scenes. The film just lacked a lesbian sex coach. That's all I'm gonna, but you know, the sex scene is very much up for debate. That's just the only thing that kind of draws it back for me, is just, I like to believe what I'm seeing is real, and just when it came to the sex, I was like, oh, there's a male director here. Loving Annabelle. This film is quite controversial because obviously there's a huge age gap. For me, the film is just one of the originals. We have a lesbian director, Catherine Brooks. The film is really well made, especially for its time and the budget she was working with, and again, the acting, the chemistry. It was just one of the films I loved growing up. It's one of the only films I had about lesbians growing up, and I know it's controversial. I really love it and can relate to it a lot. It is a teacher-student romance, and I like it. My most favourite film, drum roll please, is I Can't Think Straight. This for me is what Imagine Me and You is for a lot of other people. I don't know why I love this film so much, it just gives me the fuzzies. There is just nothing I dislike about this film, it just makes me happy, it makes me smile. There is a bit of coming out angst in it, but I just don't care. Again, it was written, created by lesbians, and you can tell it shows in the film, and I just love it so much. Also Lisa Ray, also Lisa Ray. And a bit like Imagine Me and You, it is about 2 women who fall in love, yet one of them's dating a man. Also different cultures come into it. One of them is Muslim. They are both from traditional backgrounds, so they've got this to contend with as well, but despite everything, they end up together and happy, and I love this film so much. It is always going to be my favourite film. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon.